Attention students, the Jabroni University Network is now in session. Please make your way to class.
Rad Chaser. Rad Chaser. Rad Chaser. Rad Chaser. Rad Chaser.
Coming to you from Fabulous Studio B+, it's the Chaser Brothers podcast with me, the son of Rad Chaser, and the man of the hour who reads Nintendo Power, the Bionic Commando in Orlando, the gamer who should come with a disclaimer.
Rad Chaser.
Friends, hey, hi, hello, how you doing? Welcome to the show. What's been going on? This is Rad Chaser, and now you're playing with power.
Superpower.
How about that theme song? Done by the wonderful Tokyo Elvis. Go check him out at tokyoelvisofficial.com.
That sounds official. That sounds like
Big
the real deal.
He's full on the real deal.
Well, thanks to Tokyo Elvis for that, but there's other people to thank as well. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome.
Hey.
We've had some more people come in over the last week or so. We're up to 2,100 subs, so that rules. So thanks for hopping on board. Appreciate you there.
We love you.
And also like to give a quick shout out of thanks to Mikey's Bodega on Instagram. That's at Mikey's Odega, at Mikey's Bodega. Picked up a pretty crispy copy of Dragon Warrior 7 for PlayStation and Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and I got those for pretty decent prices, so thank you for that. I can't wait to play them.
You finally did it. I know you've had eyes on Dragon Warrior 7 probably since you came up here.
I know.
This Cybertron.
And when I saw it out in the wild for $80, I saw it on a claim sale for $70, and I was like, I will take that, and I will have some of that, so. And I feel like Fire Emblem 3 Houses is always a pricey one there too, and I got that for a really great. Probably spent $30 on it. So
I gotta say, I don't think I've ever played a Fire Emblem game at all. I couldn't even tell you what it's about.
Did you play Final Fantasy Tactics?
Yeah,
it's like that.
Tactics RPG then.
Yes, there you go. Fire Blep. you know the one. Let me get the business out of the way here first. For news and content updates, be sure to subscribe to Rad Chaser on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Rad Chaser and subscribe to the Chaser Brothers podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. Please don't forget to give us a 5-star rating or let us know how you feel directly at chaserbros@gmail.com.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Those are the spots.
A thanks for Mikey's Bodega is truly a thanks for Retro Video Game Guy, because it's really whatever he shares. I go, you know what? If these people are reputable with him, then they're reputable with me. That's how far Retro Video Game Guy goes with us. So that's where
it seems like all roads lead back to Retro Video Game Guy. So
yeah,
big ups to you, buddy.
You did me a solid shouting that one out. I enjoyed that juicy claim sale. You're doing the Lord's work there.
Go check him out at Retro Video Game Guy. He just gave away an NES, so there's stuff going on there. So please check him out.
Did you win anything or purchase anything from Retro Video Game Guys? Hit us up at chaserbros@gmail.com.
I keep coming back to that pretty periodically. So.
Yeah,
actually, I'm about due to go back, so I can't quit him.
Look, you know what I need to see if he's got. I need to see if he's got any DS games, because Son of Chaser went on Mercari, and I've been eyeballing a new 2DS, and I found one that came with 6 games, actually, for a reasonable price, CIB, so I have it, and man, after years of playing the Switch, I forgot how small these DSs are, man. I have I have a Galaxy S22 Ultra, and the new 2DS is smaller than my phone. It's pretty crazy.
Is it a 2DS XL or is it regular?
Yeah, it's a new 2DS XL.
Very nice. It's the black one with like the blue outline, right?
Yeah, the turquoise they call it.
And that thing is nice. You know, when I first I think is right when I first started the channel, I got I was trying to buy and flip games and cherry pick and keep the stuff I wanted, and the 2DS XL came up, and I ended up getting it, and I flipped it, and that's one of those you ever feel feel a little regret getting rid of something. You're like, well, I don't know, I'll just get rid of it, or I'll flip it, or whatever. I feel like I regret getting rid of that thing because it's being rubbed in because you've gotten one. So now I remember that. I'm like, oh man, I had one.
Well,
I don't.
I do think we've sort of had a conversation to this nature, and it's really it's okay to get rid of something if it's not bringing you joy in the moment. And that's the hard thing is like, will this thing bring me joy? I don't know. My gauge for that is usually, cracking it open and, getting my hands on it. But, if you get something for a good price, it's like in really nice condition, and you're like, I can make some money off of this. I understand the temptation to want to, flip it a little bit,
Yeah,
especially if you're a pathetic, desperate lowlife, willing to do anything
such as
for
us.
willing to do anything for a quarter.
Sure. And it's just, it's the problem here is old Chaser loves getting high on his own supply.
Yeah.
We really need to be flipping some kind of widget that is, that doesn't mean anything to us. Labubus, perhaps. You ever heard of those things? Those toys? Oh my God, they're blowing up right now.
Yeah, which means it's too late. It's too late. Labubu 2025. I don't know. I've seen them before, and the people who are into them are like way into them. So, Labubu, Labini, Lababy. Moving past it.
Fat or not, it's here to stay.
These things, these things will
that's
totally be worth a lot of money. These are my retirement fund.
right. Well, as we've stated before, video games are not a good investment, and you can't make money selling them. So give them to us.
Yeah, well, we promise we'll give them we will give them a good home.
We'll give you 40% at price charting.
Ooh, that's super greedy. That's crazy greedy. Normally, the regular piece of junk scalpers like to go 60%, but you said 40, and I appreciate your
Now
theoretical.
you can't unhear it.
I appreciate your theoretical hustle.
I'm scalping the scalpers.
Yeah, let me give you no percent on market value. Give me the money. Give it to me for free. This is a robbery.
Free.
Also, I have a gun.
Give me all your video games. Do you want my wallet too? Nope.
No, trust me.
Nothing of value.
Yeah,
just the games.
there's nothing good in there. Just give me the games, please. I got the 2DS because the second Samus Returns came out, I wanted to play it. I had a 3DS, and at some point I did also have hope that it would come back to me if I just, continued the 7-year-long campaign I've been waging to try to get it back. It just a sort of it went from once a month to once a year to now just every time I sort of remember it, I just throw something their way to be like, hey, you want to give me that stuff back? Or
I say you lean into it the other way and just do it like once a day. This is your daily request to give me my stuff.
Right. that
you got
it's a good way to get blocked. You know,
blocked and reported.
yeah. I mean, whatever. I do want to play Samus Returns, although I was looking at Dragon Quest IX over there on the shelf, and I was like, maybe I cracked that open and to revisit Dragon Quest IX. I'm in a Dragon Quest mood right now. I got Dragon Warrior 7 and 11 and 9 and 3. Yeah, baby.
Got them all. Yeah. 7 is a time investment for sure. I played that one.
Yeah, you famously that game's got like 100 hours campaign, and you got very far into it and then had to abandon it because you forgot what you were doing.
Yeah, I got lost. I couldn't find my way back. I put it down, and that old trope. And I don't know. I haven't played it since.
That's a lot of Dragon Quest. That's a lot of Dragon
I couldn't even
Quest.
tell you. I couldn't even tell you if I even have the save, the memory card on that. That's a PS2 game. So no, that's a PS1 game.
That is a PS1 game.
Dragon Quest 9. Definitely played that one. We've played that one together. That's the only mainline game on a handheld. So that's pretty different. It was fun, though. I think I finished that game. Pretty sure I finished it.
Yeah, even if there was a server to connect to, I couldn't even do it. I tried to I connected to the Wi-Fi network in the house, and then I switched to the DS mode to connect to the Wi-Fi network, and it's not compatible. So
Right, it's
why
too secure. Or something
Nintendo
like
DS, a regular Nintendo DS does not connect to Wi-Fi 6, just in case you were wondering.
that. I have a DSi, and I just hooked it up the other day because I'm working on a Sendico video, and I got a bunch of DS games. So I I connected it to the Wi-Fi, but there's it's too secure or something like that. I ended up getting on. There's another. You have to manually go in there. You can do it, but I don't think with that you can have access to stuff. It's very complicated. It's over my head.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So
that's
short story is maybe.
yeah. Also, do I even need to really?
Well, there's no store anymore, right? So that's done.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, that's fine. I mean, if old Son of Chaser can get a couple friends together who have DSs, look, this is really also just a this is also just a throughway for me to play some of the DS games that have been featured on Nintendo Powers, because I got to start thinking about the next quest.
Got to start thinking about Picto Chat.
I mean, I also got to start thinking about some of the some of the Sendico stuff that's going to come my way via you, because you got a giant Sendico box.
Yeah, so I actually have 2 boxes worth of Sendico stuff.
Boxes?
That's right, buddy. You're really catching on. A long time ago, I got a box, and I never did anything. I didn't make a video, so that's been sitting in the closet waiting to be made. So I said, okay, I'll get this other box, and now I got an excess. I have a surplus of stuff from across the way.
A dearth.
Just a dearth of games to be opened up, explored, stared at in confusion because I don't read the language, not a lick. Can I recognize a few words? Sure. But I'm excited about it. Like I've said before, some of these games, you don't need to read anything. If it's a fighting game, you pick your players and fight. If it's some of these games are in English, so just test your luck there.
I'm really interested. I saw you flipping through those games, and I saw a convenience store simulator, and
Okay.
and I was like, I wonder what that game is.
Right. You're a convenience store worker. You clock in for an 8-hour shift, and then that's the game. And that's it. You ring people up, clean the place.
Hey, you worked at a 7-Eleven a long time ago. Tell me what Convenience Store Simulator 4 is. Now keep in mind we've done this game. This is part 4. We've done this game 3 times. Now you're in the fourth iteration of this game. I'm assuming you really don't care anymore. Tell me what Convenience Store Simulator is for you.
That convenience store simulator would be, well, look the other way when my friends come in, let them raid the place. Leave without clocking out to go home that was, very close in proximity to, hang out with people, and then come back. That was wild. That was a wild time. Convenience Simulator 4.
I mean,
8 hours of that.
I like the idea that Convenience Simulator 4 is you are the way to beat the game is to do the least amount of work and not get fired. So everything is like you're just a guy who can't keep it together. But you gotta keep it together if you want to beat this game. Doing a good job is not an option. But getting away with as much as humanly possible is the goal of the game.
Right. That's I could probably excel at that. just enough. I didn't know. I didn't know I couldn't do that. Oh no, that was the last shift. They did that. I didn't. I'm just I'm cleaning things up now. I'm the savior. Really. You guys would be lost without me.
So
Convenience Simulator 4.
Convenience Simulator 4. All right, you've left the store to go home, and now you're fighting against a time bar that's slowly depleting. So it's like, oh, what am I gonna do while I'm at the house? First I'm gonna go number 2 because my bathroom is much nicer than there. I'm gonna grab a snack. I need to get a snack in. I gotta text some people, make a phone call. Oh, I gotta start fighting my way back to get back there before the boss shows up.
It's the game that lets you simulate working in a convenience store. To the least of your ability.
That's a game I would play. See how much nonsense I could get away with. Your friends have come into the store. Do you A, charge them for everything? B, turn the other way? C, make recommendations for them to ransack the store? All right, just take whatever you want, guys. Just not the just don't take batteries or whatever. I don't know.
We'll take batteries because they're way overpriced.
Yeah, I'm not paying
Brothers
$4 for
podcast.
batteries.
The Chaser Brothers podcast does not condone thievery of any kind.
No, but
real or simulated.
well, I condone the simulated thievery if that's what you need to do to win the game. So that's
well, right? Yeah, GTA 6. You're gonna have to do something. We got Convenience Simulator 4 before we got GTA 6.
Convenience Simulator 4, the GOAT.
The goats. So yeah, in that Sendico order, I got lots of things. So it's like, okay, you get a good handful of things you do want, and they've got some other I don't know if you would call that shovelware or not. There are things that when I'm browsing through lots, I do see a lot of, and I've also received a lot of. Funny enough, Monster Hunter seems to be one that pops up a lot. And I've got, I got a bunch of, I've got it on PSP, I've got it on 3DS, I've got, and this is not because I went looking for it, but it's just, happened to come with whatever I'm trying to, get. And I've never played a Monster Hunter game. I know you're into it.
Yeah, I bought the newest Monster Hunter game. I played it for a little bit. I haven't touched it yet because I'm trying to get through the end of Dragon Quest 3.
Your backlog is wildin', bro.
I don't even know why I'm buying games at this point because I need to feel something. But it's definitely not to get the games and play them in a timely fashion. But I've got
definitely not to play them.
I've got a pile. I mean, all the stuff that I've been buying hasn't been willy nilly. I want to play these games. It's just I get maybe 2 days a week to play video games for me. I'm maxing out like 6 or 7 hours a week. Like that's all I can. That's all I can do between being having a full-time family obligations and then also producing content. So it's challenging, but I'm not gonna let it stop me. I just got to figure out a way to incorporate the games into the content, and then bing bang boom. It's just that I'm on a Nintendo Power thing, by the way.
The plight of the adult gamer, you just there's ain't no time.
Yeah, and
ain't
I mean
time.
It is like anything else when you have that much. You gotta schedule. You gotta make the time for it. You gotta schedule the time out. It's not
Games on Sunday.
It's not like what it used to be. Me and the boys used to do video games at Overwatch Wednesday. I was every Wednesday for a couple of years. Like at least 3 or 4 of us were getting together to play Overwatch. We were doing that for a hot minute, but then Wednesday night just sort of became the night, and then it just sort of fell off. We all had kids, so I mean everyone did have kids, but then you go through it. It takes a couple years before your kid starts behaving predictably enough to where you can start planning to do things like that again. So I could theoretically do that, and I did the first night I played Monster Hunter. I played with Bonesaw, and it was fun. I gotta pick that game up again. The problem is now is that Bonesaw's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna level 60. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like I don't even remember what the buttons do at this point, and you're like blazing through that game, and then I gotta worry about Borderlands 4 coming out in September, because that is going to be everything's getting stopped to play this game. So,
oh man,
and that
right.
and that is how I've been operating for a while. Is I will play a game until it's time to drop everything to play whatever game is coming out next. Borderlands 4 is going to be the next one for that, and then we will see.
Now, well, you got a few months left before that, so hopefully you can get some of that backlog taken care of. I never really played a lot online with friends, but I did. My boy Ricky, you might remember him from. I used to work with him, and he sold me a bunch of Final Fantasy stuff back in the day because he was trying to get money to go to Europe to see the Prodigy.
And that's great. That guy's dead now, so I'll say money well spent and stuff well given to you.
That band lives on. He's like the deadhead of whatever the Prodigy is. He goes to where they are, and everything else be damned. But he got me into this game called World War Z. You ever hear that one?
Yeah,
zombie game. But he played it, and he played it with this other dude that we worked with named Martin, and Ricky got me sucked into it. So there were certain late night sessions playing World War Z with the two guys I collectively call Ricky Martin. Just funny.
No, it's not. But I am laughing.
Right. I don't even think they found it that amusing, but I got a good lull out of it, so I kept doing it. I'm still doing it.
You know what? Wrong audience. That's what it was. It was just the wrong audience. It was the right thing to do to tell me about that. Ricky Martin.
I'll have to workshop it somewhere else and see if it plays.
Whew, man, that's a lot. Well,
something else.
We've had a bunch of stuff go in. There is stuff that's going to be going out because now that I've just thought about it, and we've got a couple minutes to talk about it. I've got like 6 or 7 things I got to mail out tomorrow. I got 3 lots of Nintendo
Nice.
Power. Someone bought 2 of my lots, so that stuff's getting consolidated and sent out in a giant box. I got a 3rd lot of Nintendo Power. All that stuff went, and then some other random stuff that I had that I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell this stuff one day. Well, the day came, I finally got it listed up and sold it. So I sold another box of comics that were just free comic book day comics that I was just like, I'll just put them up for, I don't even think I put them up for that much money. I either put up for $5 or like $1. I didn't pay any money for any of those comic books because they were free comic book comics. But I was just like, yeah, it's that again is one of those things where it's like, look, I'm not trying to make any money off of this. Making money off of it would be nice, but I would like to give it to someone who has, will get more joy out of it for, if they can get a good price off of them, and they did. So that's getting sent out. I had a piece of gear that I got for free with the purchase of something a long time ago. I never used the thing at all. Just never had a need for it. So I was like, screw it. I'll throw this thing up and see what sticks. And got rid of that thing pretty fast. And my the charging case for my old headphones, the ones that I washed in the laundry, and now they're destroy. I put the case up, and someone bought the case and the empty box for my iPod that I no longer have. I was like, well, it's a nice box. See if someone will take it, and they bought it for $1.
A true junk trader, selling stuff, making pure profit. That's really the way to fly these days. You're really doing the dream over there.
Yeah, so that's the stuff going out aside from the content that I'm working on, which is I've got a Nintendo Power Hour that I've filmed. I'm just editing it. There's gonna be one more Nintendo Power Hour, and then the Nintendo Power Hour is gonna change into a feature on magazines because I finally clicked buy. And now the very last one is on its way. So now I just got some variant covers is going to be more of the side quest. I don't know exactly what the main quest is now. I might wait for the Muse to Descent. Perhaps the player's guides will become the main quest. I'm probably just going to refocus my effort more on like, okay, time to start thinking about ideas of what to do with this stuff that I've bought, which I do have many ideas, but it'll all get pulled out. It'll get showcased in the Power Hours. It'll get cataloged, and then I'm gonna start doing endless amounts of Nintendo Power content.
Any of you beautiful chasers out there got any ideas for the Sunner Chaser? Shoot us an email. chaserbrothers@gmail.com.
Yeah, it's Chaser Bros. I mean, bros is short for brothers, and they're used interchangeably. But for the purposes of sending us an email, chaserbros at gmail.
If you want it to go to the right place.
Yeah, at gmail.com. Yeah, so and I guess I will say in the spirit of stuff going out, I still have that extra copy of Volume 2, Castlevania, 1988.
Sitting there, gone begging.
Yeah.
Please take me.
If you want it, I'll send it to you absolutely free. But you gotta email us at chaserbros@gmail.com. And yeah, if you don't want the magazine, but you do want to ask a question or whatever, then again that works too. And I mean that's really that's the end of stuff goes in and stuff goes out.
Red Chaser.
And if you don't send an email, we're going to shred that magazine by the end of the year.
Or we might do a Banksy thing. I'll mail it to you, and as soon as you go to open it, it'll shred right in front of you.
It'll shred itself. Either way, it's getting shredded. Shred it and forget it. Hey, don't be mad. You got it for free. What are you mad about?
Yeah, right. The destroying of precious stuff is what you should be mad about, but it would be pretty funny.
And then we spend season 4 trying to tape it back together.
My
Piece
only
by piece.
My only regret would be to that I wouldn't be able to be there to see the look on your face.
Well, you have some sort of camera that also records the moment too.
Yeah,
It's a whole thing. It'll be a whole thing.
Yeah, it will be an elaborate rig that we'll definitely 100% do.
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah, moving on to some old business.
Okay.
We hit some new business last week. We're moving on to old business.
Let's get busy.
So the thing with creating content, which maybe we can listen. We're creators. We're artistic creators of art. I mean, we call our content art. I don't know, content creation, whatever. However you feel about that term. The stuff that we make, in order to appeal to whatever is, there is a bit of trend following that goes along with that. Yeah. And in the retro video game world at the moment, GameCube seems to be a pretty hot ticket. I feel like it's kind of replacing Nintendo 64 a little bit. And this is the thing. GameCube, we've got the GameCube, but the games are so expensive. So it's like, what do we do? What, like, do you understand? Like, what are the problems with making GameCube content?
Right. So yeah, like you were saying, 20 years ago the GameCube came out, along around the same time the PS2, the Dreamcast, the OG Xbox. So those, the kids who are playing those are now, adults, and they're getting nostalgic for it. This is the way it goes. Like you said, it goes from whatever, and it moves on. So, from the 64, now it's to the GameCube. So it's like, okay, that's hot now. So it's like, okay, let's strike while the iron's hot and make content. And it seems like the GameCube stuff that, I do end up making, like shorts or like longer videos, they seem to do well. So it's like, okay, should probably do more of this. But then, like you said, also, since the stuff is hot, the games are expensive now. So what is a chaser to do? What is a blue-collar chaser to do? And really, I mean, you just got to have to, my side quest is to get GameCube games. Because I've got the kiosk. I think we have one of the coolest things to show off the GameCube games with. So that's we kind of owe it to ourselves to make those videos because we have this cool kiosk to showcase the games. So there's a built-in coolness to that already, but now like we said, getting games to play it on, are that's the little tough part because we don't want to pay up for stuff. Now, if we had unlimited money, if we had the SimCity, infinite money hack, for sure, let's get it all and a little bit more.
Yeah.
But we don't have that. So we go at a slower pace. The side quest is not the main quest. So it's like you just take a little time doing it and squeeze as much juice as you can out of it. I only have 2 games that I picked up so far for the quest. I got Metroid Prime and I got Enter the Matrix. Cool games for sure. You brought up a couple of games the last time you came up here and left them here, so I could get into them. Mario Party 5 and what was the other one?
Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion, a launch title. It's here.
it's here. A little inside, unless you've read every issue of Nintendo Power I own.
Right, unless you've seen issue whatever, two whatever. So it would behoove us to make GameCube content, but we're lacking in the library to do this. So, what's a chaser to do? And that's the big question.
I think that there can probably be a sort of a good balance stricken between good games that are not ludicrously expensive, because they're not all expensive. Like Metroid Prime, you didn't spend a ton, a boatload of money on that one.
Yeah,
I think you're gonna have to definitely make some more trips to Galactornado Rex to
for sure,
to see if you can't shake anything good there. I mean, you do have a short list. You've got a short list that listeners like you have help us put together. So yeah. I think it's time to take that short list, start checking out what market price is, and then tempering your expectations, and then either prioritizing less expensive stuff, because there are gonna be things on there that are I'm hoping wouldn't be like super expensive, like 1080 Avalanche or something like that. A game that's like 1080 snowboarding for Nintendo 64, like that was one of the big ones.
Yeah.
So you get your games like that. You get your Pilot Wings type games, your Steel Divers type game, and that was a 3DS launch game. But
yeah,
start looking at those things where it's like, the content there is like, hey, this is a launch title, let's check it out. Oh, surprise, this game was fun, because that's what Nintendo's all about. And people missed, people did miss certain titles or whatever. Like Luigi's Mansion might be something that somebody was just like, I never played that game. Not me. I mean, I've played it, but
I haven't played it.
See, there you go. You fire up Luigi's Mansion. All I'm saying is that figure out what's there, and then you know what though, it is okay to make a large purchase every once in a while. Your quest has necessitated a lot of smaller purchases, and that's great, because you've been your NES quest has been, you're a little ahead of the curve right now, so you're not drowning, and that's sort of the thing. But if you instead of going like, okay, I have to buy 8.7 NES games every month, or whatever the number was,
right?
Instead, go, all right, I'm going to buy one GameCube game this month. Two if I could keep the price under whatever, and then you end up doing that. That's still like 2 games a month is plenty to be getting on with in terms of content. So that's an idea worth investigating right there. I mean, I think the answer to what do you do is devise a plan and then execute the plan.
Great idea. Yeah, well said. And like I said, I mean, the bulk of the funds for any of the games has been coming from flipping eBay stuff anyway. So I get rid of vinyl records. I get rid of real shovelware video games, some shovies for the tummies, and then random odds and sods as well. So in a sense, it's not 100% free collection, but it is it is, I don't know how you say, upcycled maybe. So, but yeah, I like that idea. If I am ahead on the NES quest, I can say, okay, let me go down this little side quest for a minute. And I have been looking at a couple of games on eBay too. So for GameCube. So yeah, I think we can make something happen. You're right. Good call.
Also, let us not forget that Game Boy player is up there too. So any GBA games that stuff's all up for content.
I do have a good bunch of those games.
We ripped some stuff while I was up there. All we gotta do is get around to it. The problem is not figuring out ideas for content. The problem is producing the content and then getting it out. It's like even if we had infinite time, it wouldn't be enough time.
First world chasing problems.
So the GameCube problem, I think, can be solved with, just figuring out a plan and executing it. Which is you did this with the NES Quest. You sat there and you're like, all right, 100 divided by 12 is 8 point something, and then you're like, I'm gonna have to get this many games a month to do whatever. So you figure out how to budget that stuff, and then you end up picking up some titles where you're like, hey, this could be something. It's definitely not expensive, so here we go.
Right. So yeah, I guess we have our action plan now. So now we just need to execute. We need to move on to the do part of the plan. So, do.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I don't think there's any more old business, but there is a little bit of new business, which is there's always something to talk about with the Switch 2. And
oh yeah,
what I have to talk about the Switch 2 is I locked my pre-order in. The second I got off of, we got finished back here doing last week's podcast. I went straight to Best Buy, and then after about 15 or 16 minutes, I was like, this was the thing with the pre-orders. Walmart's like, hey, you want to hold your place in line and go shop for something else? Best Buy was the guy couldn't figure out where the big red button to make the pre-order go live was, and Target was something went wrong with your order. But after about 15 minutes of Best Buy not having anything go up, I went over to Target and it was just like, we can't, like something went wrong with your order. I was like, I have a feeling if I just keep pressing the purchase button over and over and over and over again,
you'll buy 10 of them.
Yeah, and then flip them.
Like a scumbag reseller.
Yeah, a scum bum. So I sat there, and after about 45 minutes, I locked one in, and then I was like, let's see what Twitter has to say about this. And
of course,
and it was it was a microcosm for every single problem I was having trying to order that thing. But I got it locked in, and I was hype. So I did do that. So that rules.
You
and
did the thing.
Now it's just like, oh man, what little games am I gonna buy? Because I need Metroid Prime 4 when that comes out. Because that's gonna be a stop everything I'm doing game.
Yeah.
And that there's that. So I got the Switch 2 locked in, so I'm excited for it, and we are going to see what happens with that down the line, but got plenty of stuff to be getting on with then until in the meantime. So there you go.
I did not even bother trying to get a Switch 2. I'm sitting this one out until everything blows over. It's not huge on my priority list. I don't know. It's just I'm into it. I'm excited, but I'm not fanatic about it. I don't need it right now. You know what I'm saying? So I just sort of sat it out. And look, it's not like there won't be any more. They will come. There, of course. You can always get a console after a period of time.
Yeah,
So-
it's almost in this day and age, it's not even worth it to get the console when the first round of it comes out, because it's like, okay, this thing's got problems or whatever. All right, don't worry, we'll fix it in the next batch, and that is a real thing.
Sure.
Fortunately, I've never got hit with that. So
I don't think I ever did. I mean, I got a PS5 day it came out, and I haven't had a problem with it since.
yeah.
So
Which is funny to me, because I hear people all the time with like everything. It's just like Bonesaw was telling me he had to send in like four Joy-Cons because of stick drift issues. You don't get that with the Nixie controllers, by the way. But I was like, God. I was like, I've had that many, Jensen Switch, my Switch, the one that I had before the one that I got. Like I've never had any drift issues with the Joy-Cons, so guess I got lucky on that one, and I'll just cross my fingers that I get lucky again. But
I don't really. I feel like that comes from people who really manhandle their games and are like hardcore gamers, or just kids who are just rough with it.
yeah,
I'm
you
not-
could be right.
I'm not really like I'm delicate. I'm a delicate little flower, and I play little delicate games like the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, if you can play that on Switch too, then lock and load. I mean, I'm sure you will be
But
able to.
I don't know. It's a big game. A lot of moving
Play it on
parts.
PS3.
Yeah, and it looked. It looked like piping hot garbage. I mean, it probably looked cool at the time, but the times
Sound like
they
a
are changing.
jet engine was going off in your living room.
PS3 never really had that jet engine problem like a PS4 does. I don't think, not that I can recall. It's been a while.
Interesting.
But yeah, those Nixie controllers, they have no stick drift because they have the Hall effect going on with them. I have yet to pull the thing out and use it, but I do know all the specs about it. And that's going to be GameCube content, so I
Yeah.
can get cracking on that.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, fresh Nixie controller for all the GameCube content. I think the last thing just to say about the Switch 2 is that it's got a system seller for me, which is Metroid Prime 4. I mean, Donkey Kong
killer
Bonanza
app.
looks good too, but I don't want to say I got to be selective about the stuff that I want to play, but I do got to be selective about it. Even though Donkey Kong Bonanza looks good, but it's like I still haven't played Mario Odyssey yet, and I have Mario Wonder. I haven't played that one either. But Jensen looked like he was having a fun time with that one. Old Jay Chaser.
Well, right, and now, like we mentioned before, the games are going to be, you're going to have to pay up a little bit more for the games now, so it's a bit more of an investment. So you might make a little bit more of I feel like you have to make a more informed decision, or, if you have the extra scratch laying around, just grip run and rip one, but, if not, you got to say, okay, I am going to spend upwards of, $90, $95 with tax for a game. But look, am I going to get hundreds of hours out of it? For sure. If it's a bigger game. We've done this already, but I mean, that's just the way it goes. Pay up for it. Who cares? You're getting your joy out of it. What's the difference between getting $60 and $90 worth of joy out of something?
Yeah, it's $30. It's 1.5 times as much joy.
That's mathematically correct. The best kind of correct.
I don't want to say I don't feel twice as much joy, but it's at least half as much over.
Feels like I'm having more joy because it's more expensive.
Oh, boy.
At least 1.3 times more.
All right. Well, once again, if you want to contact us, you can do that at chaserbros@gmail.com. To check out all the other wonderful podcasts on the Jabroni U Podcast Network, follow the Jabroni University Podcast Network on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JabroniU and at JabroniU.com. There you can catch up on the latest New Japan Pro Wrestling news on New Jabroni Pro Wrestling. Tune in to Biff Radio, listen to all new hip-hop on Flow and Tell, and draft pop culture on our flagship show, The Draft Podcast. Again, your gateway to follow all these wonderful podcasts is JabroniU.com. Remember to leave all the podcasts a 5-star rating and to like, share, and retweet and subscribe, or else you're getting the Ricky Martin treatment.
And you don't want to be underneath that foot. What do you say? Is it about that time, my friend?
Yeah, it's bottom line time. It's for sure bottom line time.
The bottom line is, for me, the GameCube is a nostalgic console right now. There is much to be discovered and rediscovered, even for new and old players alike. So, I feel like it is my duty and our duty as a couple of Chaser Bros to push out content relative to that, especially since we have a sweet kiosk to play the games on.
Yeah, it's a good bottom line. It's the finest of all bottom lines. My bottom line is definitely want to play Convenience Store 4. but in the way that we described. It's you get in-game points for doing a terrible job. You got to do the worst job you can. It makes a guy want to work just hard enough not to get fired.
All right, and that's where we thrive, and that's where a lot of convenience store clerks thrive.
Yes.
Although if it's a Japanese release, it's probably not going to be like that because it would be it's probably everything's nice over there, even the convenience stores.
It's so nice that
at a 7-Eleven here.
So nice that it spawned a successful franchise of video games based on it. They're up to a 4th iteration.
Ever wonder what it's like to put in an 8-hour shift at a low-level job?
Ever wonder what it's like to get bored and put chili cheese onto a hot dog or whatever it was? No, put chili cheese onto a Cuban sandwich. That's what it was.
Ever try to steal a pack of cigarettes by putting it at the bottom of the nachos and then putting chili and cheese over top of that and then walk out with that?
You ever see famous rock musician Scott Stapp relieve himself on the front of your convenience store, and then when you yell at him and tell him to go away, he goes, "Do you know who I am?" And then he gets mad at you because you won't sell him alcohol after 2:30 in the morning.
With arms wide open. If you live in Orlando back in the 2000s, you do.
Yeah, that was back when Convenience Store 2 was out. It's come leaps and bounds since then.
Right, dealing with irate customers for sure.
Woo. Yeah, the bottom line is don't sell alcohol after 2:30 in the morning, even if Scott Stapp, shows up asking for it. It's not worth it.
Right,
You'll lose your job, man.
All right, and he'll just end up getting 6 cans of Skull anyway. So that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, the 100% complete second choice to getting alcohol. Well, I guess I'll get a bunch of Skull then. The bottom line is, if you can't get beer, get Skull. Get a lot of it.
Smokeless tobacco.
If you can't get beer, get smokeless tobacco. That's a terrible bottom line. Don't
Right.
if you can't get beer, just go home. It's too late.
It's too late.
Yeah, there's a cutoff for a reason. Just trust me. Just go home. You'll be better off for it.
And I'm sure there's some watering hole that opens up at 7 a.m. anyway. Just write it out. Take a power nap.
Oh yeah, baby, go and get yourself an eye opener.
Absolutely.
Have you ever been to a bar at 7 o'clock in the morning?
I don't think so. I'm not really awake at that hour at all. Much less saying, "Yo, let's wake up early and then start drinking."
Oh, I
I'll be
have.
asleep by 9.
I
done it?
have, and let me tell you, everyone to a person, freshly showered and dressed like they're about to go to work, and then accidentally made a detour to the bar. That's what it's like when you're drinking at 7 o'clock in the morning.
And that's really the essence of Convenience Store Clerk 4,
Yeah.
the game.
Do everything you can to make just enough money to get a $2.50 pitcher at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm the son of Rad Chaser. We're ending this one on a high note, baby. And Chaser, until next time.
Until next time, my beautiful chasers, please, please, please never forget, wherever you are out there in Chaserland, keep chasing them.
Rat Chaser.
That took an unexpected turn at the end, but it was fine.
It was great. We're achieving greatness.
No, look, see, that's the good kind of side conversation to get onto.
Yeah.
Especially because I wasn't thinking about Convenience Store 4 as a vehicle for, well, it's what's it really like to work at a convenience store? You have to fend off drunks and drug addicts at 3 o'clock in the
Right.
morning.
Now we should make that game.
Yeah, I mean,
all we have to we come up with the idea. We just get we let China deal with the rest.
well, look, maybe Convenience Store 4, maybe they didn't do the numbers that they wanted, and they're like, we need a shot in the arm. This franchise needs a new outlook. They bring us in, we're like,
We need to shake it up.
what if working in a convenience store was like, actually working in a convenience store? All right, go on. Or like much in the same way as GTA had Chinatown Wars, Convenience Store 5 can be Convenience Store 5 Florida edition.
Florida Man edition.
First you gotta drive on I-4 to get.
Oh God, yeah. First off, the commute is a real bitch, so you're already hot coming in.